highlights going ham right now.
Really?
Yeah, just in
Feel
the
like the
background.
Mavs need KD?
That'd be nice. Maybe he could guard
Well,
Porzingis
maybe they need their own like big four or something like that.
for
Welcome
real.
back, everybody. Episode 81 right here. Um,
Jeez,
I'm having a therapy session with Diego over here after game two of the NBA Finals yesterday. What a great game!
it was
Absolute
a good
clinic.
game.
Like Jason Tatum's not performed to like how we expected him to perform in the finals, but it hasn't even mattered. Diego, I know this sucks right now. What is going
Yeah,
on in your mind?
what's going on in my mind is just we can't we can't really we can't defend or guard at all. So or defend or score. That's the issue. Kyrie's kind of disappeared. Uh, Luca's been the only map to kind of show up, but even then, like on defense, he's still getting exposed. There's just some ugly plays at times that actually makes me want to hit my head with a wall, but it's okay. I think I think we all knew the Celtics were favored, but the last chance to really get the comeback going is needing to win tomorrow or Wednesday night. So I think it's a big thing. Just it was tough. We need to learn from our mistakes and then play a lot better on Wednesday.
All right. That's the end of episode 81. Thank you guys for
Yeah,
watching.
nice and
It's our
concise.
shortest episode yet, but
Yeah,
no, we will dive into what we've seen in these finals so far. That was a great snapshot by Diego. I think the big thing was early on in the first half, especially in game two,
yeah,
the Mavs across the board missed so many free throws. It
that's
was unbelievable. And it was just like that was pretty much the difference in the game. To
hmm
be their defense was a lot better,
yeah.
and Luca was Celtics had no answer for Luca in the first quarter. Um,
No,
and then
classic good first quarter, especially
and
off the loss.
The Mavs played. The Mavs are live in the series, and then once the fourth quarter hit, a lot of like they still couldn't make the free throws they needed to. They made a lot of rushed and dumb decisions on the fast break going down the
hmm
court. There's two plays that stood out to my mind. When it was just like Luca and Derek Lively going on the fast break in the fourth quarter, and it should be a standard 2-on-1, 2-on-2 procedure. You get that bucket up in like 2 seconds. And
Yeah.
they ended up making that a half court possession because Luca threw it slightly behind Derek Lively. Derek Lively had to take that second to gather. And against the Celtics, that's all that matters for them to catch up with their half court defense. And they lost the opportunity there. And then the other one was, granted, it was a great play by Drew Holiday, but when um
Oh yeah.
I think Drew Holiday almost stole it and he tipped it. It went right back to Luca. Then Luca had to fire it over the top of Drew Holiday because he just left straight up.
Yeah.
He didn't throw around Holiday. He threw it higher. So the ball took longer to get to
Yeah.
PJ Washington, and Derek White just intercepted it and started
Yeah.
pushing again. And it
It
was
was.
like a complete rush on Luca's part, where it was just like you got to value the ball in that moment,
Mhm.
especially when you had an 8-0 run, 4 minutes
Yep.
left in the fourth quarter. Like you can't make decisions like that. So those are two things that stood out to me, where it's like those are fixable possessions that win or lose games for you, especially at this level. So, but the Mavs, their defense, I have no qualms about their defense, and that's going a long way since we talked about them the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Their defense, their defense is great. It's good enough. But now it's like the decision making, I think, is the biggest key here for them. Um, and if they take care of home court, none of this conversation stuff matters. Again,
Yeah.
it's only 2 games in. Celtics have to win these 2 games. Otherwise, if the Mavs
Yeah.
take one of them, suddenly the conversation just flips 180 just like that. So I
Yeah.
look at this and say, like, no team is perfect. The Mavs certainly have things to fix, but the types of mistakes they have to make are very simple ones. Mistakes
Yeah.
to fix are very simple mistakes.
No. Yeah. I mean, the defense definitely in game two. I just watched B-ball breakdowns game one video, and it definitely showed a lot of things like how KP absolutely destroyed us. I mean, in game two, all five Celtic starters had double-digit points,
Mm.
but in game one, KP, it was just him feasting, and that was a big thing. Uh, I had said when we were texting is that we can't let just give up an easy switch on him, and especially like Daniel
He didn't even
Gafford.
hit a single three in game two either. It's
Hmm.
that pick and pop just at like that elbow area, mid range
Yeah.
area, where he could just tower over guys and shoot that elbow jumper.
And
And the
it's like
Mavs
a layup.
they couldn't solve that in 2 games.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a difficult shot to try and challenge, but I think another thing too, those free throws in that 8-0 run. Up until then, at least as I could kind of recollect, we were like 2 of 8, and so couldn't make, or even maybe more, but we just missed so many free throws. And then we go on this run, we make two straight, then we make another two straight. I think it was Derek Jones Jr. and then PJ Washington and Luca was in there too, making all their free throws. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, this is good. We can go on a run. And then you get I think that gets us to then the PJ Washington going up for a dunk, getting blocked by both Derek White and Jalen Brown. And like, that was like me just seeing it live. I was like,
They
dang,
needed that one. That was like the gut punch once that
yeah.
happened.
But then also, like, the commentators were saying that could have been a foul on Jalen Brown to check the last 2 minute report. But like, I don't know. Like, obviously we could all be butthurt about it, but also like I don't know how much like his arm is really pushing. Like it's on his back, yeah.
And in slow motion, it looks like it's a clear foul. It's one of those
Mhm.
things. Like he could have just gave him a love pat on the back,
Yeah, I know. That's the
like
other thing as well.
in real time. I think
So
the more fixable thing for the Mavs is the free throws. 100%
yeah.
the free throw because that was in their control. Like
Mhm.
I don't expect them to go 8 for 8 out of those 2 of it, but you have to at least
No,
hit
but
5 or 6. That makes a massive difference in
yeah,
how you
man.
play the game in the 4th quarter. Because now you got the Celtics a little less aggressive, like trying to be a
Mhm.
little more strategic on how they get their buckets.
Yeah.
And
Is
maybe that could leave for more possessions for you to cut that deficit. But just the gimmies, like free throws are supposed to help you become better shooters because you have
mhm.
like you could
Warm up.
practice like your form. It's your static form. Like it's very you can focus energy on the quads. You can focus on how you release the ball. However, it takes you to get it gives you rhythm.
Yeah.
And missing them and Luca missing four, that was just a tough blow for them.
No, it definitely hurt. Just yeah, all those free throws missing is disgusting. But bright sides from the game, PJ Washington had a great like driving, attacking the rim game. He had one move where he kind of picks up the ball, uh, lands on both feet exactly, like quick pass fake to Luca, and then lays it up. Beautiful there. Just a lot of great drives, and especially
His gather step and first step is very good, especially off the corner, like the
yeah,
45 cuts you normally make. It's more like the wing, sorry, not the corner.
yeah,
And it was, I think, from that first three he hit from the wing. I think it was like the
hmm,
left wing, the
yeah,
first quarter. Like he was just engaged. I think the one positive the Mavs have going to them is like they have a guy who can get to the paint. That's not
hmm,
Luka or Kyrie, and that
yeah,
can take a little bit of the pressure off. So that way you can maybe get some more 3 point opportunities for other guys, mainly including Luka and Kyrie. A little bit more off ball shooting that might help them out and speed up the pace.
hmm,
I noticed when PJ Washington was attacking like that, the
yeah,
pace was quicker. It put the Celtics back on their heels, and it kind of reminded me of like what the Pacers did offensively. And maybe that's something the Mavs can take with them. But it's the free throws. And even like the lobs that the Mavs made were completely different. I think they only
yeah,
got one of those big lobs to Derek Lively.
hmm,
That's from Kyrie.
yeah.
Like they had to
Oh yeah,
schematically develop a different lob because like it was like a give and go lob from
it was
Luca to like Derek Jones. And I was
no,
like, wow, that's a creative play.
yeah,
But like the fact they have to draw something up like that is really concerning because it shows that what the Celtics are doing is working as far
hmm,
as like stopping the big lob. It's like taking that hack away from the Dallas Mavericks and like asking them to play left-handed.
no, yeah. It's definitely tough, and I think especially with attacking in transition, like in the fourth quarter, there was a moment where it was I think Luca got on the break, and like it was maybe he got it at half court, and he had Al Horford in front of him, straight in front of him. That is who had to guard him. But instead of going right at him right there, he waited for a screen. who where he eventually got Al Horford again off that screen and then just made the layup on him. Like an action that could have that whole possession that might have been, I don't know, let's say 15 seconds. Okay. Could have been 3. You're saving, you're cutting that down like, I don't know, 80%. And my guy just didn't want it. Like, Al Horford has to be barbecue chicken for anyone that is Luca, Kyrie, even PJ Washington, man. Like, that was one thing that just pissed me out. Like, we're in the finals and you're not going to see,
Diego, you're so fake, man. Literally,
bro.
right last week before the finals started, you're like, "Oh, if there's one guy I would hope that would win the finals, it's Al Horford because
Yeah,
he's
but like,
38. He'll never get another opportunity." And then here you are, just dissing Al Horford on the court. Like, what did the
half
man
of it,
do to
man.
you, bro? Come
He
on
didn't
now.
do anything besides, like, nothing. He
Be
just,
38,
we
okay.
had to expose him, man. He can't move. Like, I don't, like, obviously I'm not an NBA player. I'm just a dude. But if I see Al Horford guarding me, I'm gonna at least go at him. Like, come on, man. Like, that was just one thing that pissed me off because it's just, I get Luca likes to play it slow, but they know the hit ahead pass. You got to do something different, and I get it. You're tired, but this is the NBA Finals, man. This is where all the chips are down. This is where like cojones come out, man. This is where the real dudes play. So you can't be tired like that. I don't know. Like they were saying that like he looks gassed. I'm like he should be gassed, man. This is the finals. Like
But the others got to step up more. I feel like,
no, they definitely
like,
do. It's just
like Lively, especially like game one, he
mm,
couldn't contribute much because of foul trouble.
yeah,
And other than one lob, he didn't really do too much. I think he had like 4 points. Like you need more out of Lively. You need more out of like Gafford played a better game. He almost
yeah,
flirted with a double double
way
with
better game
nine
for him.
rebounds there. Like that was good to see him. And right from the opening tip, you could tell he was like aggressive a lot. But there's
Hmm.
times when like Gafford like doesn't like whether he's screened or like whether he tries to finish and misses or something like that, he'll linger just a bit more on the floor, like
Yeah,
put his hands down or knees down and then like get up and run. It's like Gafford, if you're not hurt, like seriously hurt, like I because I think it's like a virus, like when they play slower and like
yeah.
like it's good to
It's
play
spreading.
intentional, but at
Hmm.
sometimes like with this Celtics team, the way they can just move up and down the floor, you need to give them back a little bit too, because otherwise you're not taking any energy away from them, especially in that home crowd. Is very difficult.
Hmm.
So, um, where I
Yeah,
was going with it is saying like you got to play faster all around, and yeah, like it's commonly known that Luca plays slow, but I think guys like Gafford, like Lively, Washington, if they play faster, especially Derrick Jones Jr., because Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. are explosive players. Like if they
yeah.
play faster, that's gonna transcend for the whole team. So
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think just that's the thing they're saying, kind of like on the Brian Windhorst podcast with Zach Lowe post game. It's just saying l- like there's this defense is so good, and we've played the number one defense. But the thing about them is that they can't just switch everything. There's always a defender you can kind of attack there, or you bring Rudy out and kind of expose him there. This defense is almost anyone get a switch on is like a good defender compared to the
except Al Horford,
yeah,
right?
except Al Horford in the what's it called on the perimeter. Now in the paint, he's no Porzingis, but he'll do something. He's not a
He'll
shot
get some
blocker
blocks.
either.
He got like 3 blocks, whether in the Pacers game or like game one. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, maybe the weakest defender is Tatum, and Tatum was really
we've just
like an
been
all
cooking
wing.
Tatum, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just impressed by the way Tatum has played
Yeah,
so
he's
far. Like,
hmm
especially his game two performance, where
yeah,
he's not getting it going shot wise. Like the Tatum I know from 2 seasons back, and especially the Warriors series,
yeah,
if he's not scoring, he would let that get to him. Like
hmm
if Wiggins was locking him down, he would let that emotionally affect him.
Aaron, Andrew
Now
Wiggins,
you
yeah,
don't see that. You see it like he had like 12
great
assists, I
times,
think,
yeah,
and
12
like
assists,
triple
yeah,
double, like 11 rebounds. It was ridiculous.
hmm
I think 9 rebounds. I think he almost had one. But
yeah,
like he was just the way he's like seeing the game and the behind the back passes and like
hmm
he understands that he doesn't have to take it up all on himself. So, whoa, that's a big power play for Florida.
oh,
Five
yeah.
minutes. Whoa. Okay. It's
That's
a
no,
tie game in the Stanley Cup, but that was just crazy. So,
that's
I mean,
interesting.
with Tatum, I'm
Yeah,
just impressed by even Brown. Brown's like both of them just are playing out of their minds right now compared to how I remember them in the Eastern Conference Finals and NBA Finals.
yeah,
So like that's a noticeable difference. Whereas like if Brown and Tatum are playing like that, you got no shot. These were the kind of the
yeah.
Celtics I was hoping for when I saw them play against the Warriors and the Heat because I knew they had this kind of potential.
Hmm.
But the one thing I got worried about was Tatum and Brown playing iso ball, and you
Yeah.
haven't seen much of that. You have
No.
the ball is not sticking around to 1 or 2 guys. They're having effort on other parts of the court. They're not letting their iso game affect other areas of the game. And look at the results. Like it's not even been their show. Like maybe Brown in game 1, but like game
Yeah.
1, everybody's like, "Oh, it's so remarkable. Kristaps came back after 30
Yeah.
days." 30
Last
games
game.
playing like this. And then Drew Holiday, would you
Hmm.
have had him like chalked up for 24, 26 points in game 2? Like
Yeah.
he was the MVP of game 2.
No, he's playing great, man. And I think just the defense and the offense for the Celtics, even though they didn't hit that many threes in game one,
They were
it's
horrible from 3.
okay.
They were like 7
Mhm.
of like
I think it was 10.
32 or something.
It might have been 10 and 39 in the end, but maybe that
30.
was last game.
Yeah. I mean, I was just watching as it was going. It's like they
Yeah.
only hit 7 threes for 3 quarters, but like
Yeah.
10 of 39, like they were not good from 3 and they still look like they controlled this game.
Yeah. But like it's just there's so many things or like one play from that B-ball breakdown video that watching live just pissed me off so much. And it's a chain of two plays. Luca Luca I think misses a shot off Tatum guarding him, no contest. And he's the last one back, running the slowest. Then Tatum has the ball, already being guarded by PJ. Luca just goes and double teams Tatum for no reason. And then one pass, one pass, one pass, three passes. And so that's from the left wing to the left to the right corner, like offensive perspective.
Yeah.
And because of that double team by Luca, PJ Washington has to make like a 40-foot closeout, which he almost kind of gets to somehow. Like like you got to understand that decision of double teaming just
And it
gave
was
up 3
all
points.
and what preceded it? What was the cause of that?
Yeah, him
He
missing
had
the
a possession
shot.
where he missed a shot. You
Yeah.
can't this is old Tatum and old Brown. You can't let, like, a no call or a bad
Uh-huh.
shot, like, impact your defensive performance like that. I
Yeah.
think you're seeing the clear differences, so
And including after that, Luca gets the ball. Jalen Brown guarding him just across, like just over midcourt, closer to Luca. He tries to do it behind the back, stripped by Brown, straight to the rim dunk. That's like a 7 point swing right there,
Yep,
off literally one missed basket, which is
yep.
crazy. Like stuff like that can't be happening in the finals. Now I understand, like obviously if you're the dude having to do all this stuff, the rest of the team isn't really performing at that level. You're definitely gonna feel some of that frustration, but it's just tough, man. It's tough out here.
The one thing and I don't know if it's gonna matter too much given how many of, like, the non-Tatum players are, like, standing out right now. The one thing Dallas might have going for them is Josh Green because a lot of the possessions where Josh Green is guarding Tatum, it's been effective. Like he's the one guy that has size to deal with Tatum,
Yeah,
and they might want to explore giving him more minutes. I'm not saying throw him in the starting lineup,
nah,
but
but
give him
yeah.
extended minutes from the bench on Tatum exclusively. Especially if like Kyrie doesn't have it going because
Mhm.
you might be able to save yourselves a couple of possessions if you're able to get if you're able to trap the Celtics into playing like Jason Tatum's getting frustrated that Josh Green is dogging him, and he wants to continue to prove like he can beat Josh Green off the dribble and stuff, the Mavs might have something there because Josh Green is a really good defender. Now
Yeah,
he has to hit his threes to stay on the court, but that's something I've noticed where it's like, wow, the Mavs can't ignore this.
yeah,
That's more opportunities you want to provide. Um, I mean, Kyrie's got to show up.
yeah.
Kyrie has to show up. Like, I get it; it's a tougher matchup, and like he's going against Drew Holiday, but like you
But
could
God,
see what happens when he has a half step ahead of the defender.
Mm-hmm.
and he's still making his layups. He misses some that are like tough to do, but like you need to make him point to get him more involved
Yeah.
because if you don't, it's gonna be Luca or bust. Literally. Like
Yeah, man. It's tough, but I just I'm just hoping for game 3, hoping those Dallas fans we can just lock in super
yep.
hard, like stupid amounts of locked in. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna be glued to the TV, gonna be screaming, hollering, gonna need it,
Yep.
man.
I
I
think
don't
what would you do if you saw like Gafford and Washington struggling to get to their lobs?
to the
Like
lobs. I
I
just
mean, I guess it's more like Lively and Gafford,
yeah,
but like
but
they need paint points. They need
hmm
paint points from those guys somehow. So
yeah, I think it is difficult just because they are kind of playing that to not an advantage, but they want what they want is to get them like give them those open shots and hope they miss. But it's just I don't know. I feel like it's just I'm honestly not sure. I my only idea is just attack more in transition. But like, well, one thing I know I've seen is that there were a lot of stuff like Spain pick and rolls or like Iverson cuts or like horns actions with like two screens up top at the elbows.
and
We haven't run any
one
of
pops,
that.
one goes.
Yeah, and just because I feel like a big thing, one big play I don't know if it was last night or in game one, but Luca gets a screen from whoever KP is guarding, and in this, I think it was Derek Lively. In this moment, luckily, KP and Jalen Brown converge on Luca, doubling him effectively, and that's exactly what Luca wants. He gets the pass straight to Derek Lively and he yams it on Derek. I think it was last night on Derek White.
Derek White.
That hasn't happened because they've been pre-switching that a ton. And there's just a play on that video, BL breakdown video, where so Luca's on the right, he's getting a screen from I don't know, like PJ Washington, or maybe Derek Jones, whoever KP was guarding. And so Derek White sees it and he's like, "Oh, let's switch this." And so they just switch that real quick and completely avoid that. And so that's a situation where you have to like re-screen again and like try to make sure you get that KP screen. And I feel like that's something we're not necessarily doing. I don't know why, but you have to try to I don't want to say expose them, but like make them have to play two on the ball or just attack Kristaps. And like I get he's a good paint defender, but he's not that great in space. So that's my thought.
Air jowl screens would probably help a lot. Like
Yeah, I mean,
you need to somehow cause the overall point is you want to cause like miscommunication
hmm
on the screens. So you don't
yeah,
want to just go up and just go on the same side for the screen every time and make it a point. I'm like, oh, I'm going to screen to the right of you, Luca.
yeah,
Don't make it that obvious because
yeah,
Boston is so great defensively that if you make your intentions clear on body position and how you're screening, they know how to switch. They can cover that. If you do like
yeah,
a Veritas screen, which is you look like you're gonna screen right, but suddenly you flip your hips and you're screening left,
hmm
that's gonna cause miscommunication because now it's like, oh wait, I thought Luca was going this way, like with the screen, and
yeah,
now he's really going against the screen, which is actually with the screen because the screener flipped.
hmm
And you have to process all of that within a second. So that and like Gortat screen, I know like Lively tried one, but like you need to mix those in. I feel like if you want to get those two on the ball opportunities, because once Dallas has two on the ball, you open the lob, you open the corner three, and that part of
yeah,
their game is not there because Boston's not allowing that. So like I feel like you have to change the screening actions. And then probably one other thing I was gonna suggest is we talked about PJ Washington getting the ball more in like the half court set.
hmm
I think him and Derrick Jones, if you just give them the ball on the wing, start the ball on the wing or something like that, not at the top of the key, give it to Derrick Jones Jr. or PJ Washington and have them navigate simple screens and have either Kyrie or Luca in the corner as a ready shooter. So the defense has to stay on them. I
yeah,
feel like you would get better opportunities at the rim with like either the ball handler or the roller. and that's gonna make like Gafford not just a screener and a rebounder. Like you're gonna get him more involved, and I think it's gonna you're gonna have the ball in Luca's hands less. I feel like, but it's going to allow your offense to play a little bit faster at times and get easy looks when it's probably difficult to get so. Like, if you're not able to get paint points on Boston, you're relying on Kyrie and Luca to get those paint points or 3-point shots to try and compete with Boston.
No, yeah. No, I'd agree. That's a good idea. I think I think it would just be kind of scary because then what if they double and then like Derek Jones, PJ aren't that good passers, as good as Luca, obviously.
I would
But
just chuck it to the corner. I would just because if they double,
yeah,
Luca and Kyrie have to be 1-on-1, right?
yeah,
That's why I said treat like Luca and Kyrie as your best shooters, which
which they
they pretty
kind of
much
are.
are.
Yeah,
They are like, and have they want to go 1-on-1. Like let them go 1-on-1 from the corner. Kyrie has a array of talented moves in the corner of the like he can function in any area of the court.
yeah,
Luca's a little bit more like let me see the rim and
hmm
operate from there. He doesn't operate from the corner as much except by post ups, but like let those guys have one-on-one opportunities off the catch, which will be a little bit easier than trying to have them initiate one-on-ones from like the top of the key and stuff like that. Because now you have less eyes watching you from the help side defense,
hmm
and they can just react and play off of instinct rather than overthinking.
no, yeah. I'd
It's a
I'd also
it's a subtle adjustment where I feel like it's gonna help the role players out, and then also help Luca and Kyrie, so they're not like so they are a little bit more efficient.
hmm, a big change in this game in game two last night was there's actually I think one play for Luca where he was completely off ball and just got a really good corner three and drained it. And like that could be something useful, I think, especially because he is getting hounded. He's getting hounded up the floor by Jalen Brown, and that's probably the biggest reason why he's tired because he always has to kind of think about what how he's going to get around Jalen. Jalen's a great defender. He's not just going to let him get through any which way. So
And if it's not him, it's White or Holiday.
yeah, it's just more thought, more effort you have to expend to just
Mhm.
get the offense started. So yeah, could be a good move, especially because they're definitely not pressing like Derrick Jones Jr. or PJ Washington like that. At least not now. And if that becomes really good, they definitely will. I feel like.
Yeah. Or you have Gafford at the top of the key, like
Yeah,
doing
send
like a
screens.
Draymond almost, where it's like screening, but like flipping the balls, like swinging the ball to the other side. Like
Yeah.
get some more actions where it's like Boston has to communicate side to side.
hmm
I think it could be a little bit easier because once you get the ball stuck on Luca and 10 eyes are on him,
Yeah.
that's hard. Like, I mean, he can hit those turnaround fadeaways from the elbow, but like, is that the most efficient look that's going to help you keep up? I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah. That's the issue, right?
Yep. Any other takeaways you want to see in game three besides the Dallas win?
That would be great. As usual, Kyrie scoring a lot of points would be nice. Need that. It's kind of it for me.
Yeah.
Can't think
I
of anything
mean, not a
else.
lot to talk about. It's been all Boston pretty much,
Yep.
like except for like the 3-point shooting in game two. But
hmm
um, we'll see if Dallas can hold home court, and then hopefully by next week we don't have a sweep on our hands. So
Jeez. Yeah.
until then, we'll see you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Our Instagram channel is amon.a.mission. Um,
Yeet.
our YouTube channel is Amon a Mission, 3 words. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss out on a single vid. And with that, see you guys later. Ciao.
See ya.